What's up, y'all? What's going on? It's Friday! I want to scream so loud. I really want to scream super duper 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 loud. Hope everybody, I got caught at a light, honey. I never get caught at this light. So I was listen to a little Gap Band. This song reminds me of my second cousin, Larry, who transitioned a long time ago. But he used to play this song, and he used to dance, and he used to drive tow trucks. And he had this dance that he would do called the tow truck, which was basically him, of course, just moving but acting like he was shifting gears and moving stuff. And Larry was such a amazing character in our family because he was illiterate. He could not read or write. He could speak fluent Spanish and count money, like numbers, like shit. But it's crazy how you don't know about things until you when you sit down and you become an adult and you understand other humans, and you're like, this person in my family was essentially kind of thrown away, but he was so smart, spoke fluent Spanish, black man, spoke fluent Spanish, could not read or write, barely could write, barely could write. And his only job, he kept a job though, he drove a tow truck, okay, and could count money. I guess, you got to make sure if you're going to run your own business, if you can't read or write, goddamn it, you better make sure the motherfuckers pay you, okay? Shout out to my cousin Larry. But this song reminds me of him and how he used to be dancing in the living room at my grandmother's house, doing the tow truck, honey, moving. Yes. I will never forget him. I'll never forget him. Not really having a stable home environment, you know what I mean? And just big and tall, like a tall black man, just big. He had a brother, Leon, who was also smart, but I don't think could Leon read or write? I don't remember. It was my grandmother's sister's sons. Yeah. It's crazy. That song reminded me. Yes. So anyways, I didn't have anything I wanted to talk about. I just left home. Let me park the car. And I was listening to Tanya TKO. She has a video that she did, and it's titled, I don't want to start the video. Oh, why is it still connected to my television? That's weird. Black men detached from duties then complain, and she just posted that about an hour ago. Where she is now, basically she's just talking about people voting or withholding their vote, and how that is really dangerous, and that if you are the proclaimed leaders of that just reminded me, I want to talk about something else. If you are the proclaimed leaders of your community, the one thing that you should the one system that you should probably subscribe to is voting. If you are a leader if you call yourself a leader in your community and you encourage other people to do it. And we're not talking about on this national level. We're talking about, like we said the other day, on a local level, because the judges, the school boards, and all of those things come into play and really protect your community. So if you're truly a leader and you call yourself a leader, and when you look in the mirror, you see a leader, you would not be encouraging people to withhold their vote. You would be really focused on adjusting the current administration, because you've seen, I don't even know how to verbalize when it's do you see what this man has done and his administration has done across the board? And when I say across the board, we're talking from housing to education, to technology, to women's rights, to LGBTQ plus rights, to school boards, to the education. I already mentioned Betsy DeVos. I don't even know if I mentioned her because her smiling ass was in my head when I said education. Housing, climate change, like across the board, he has come through. And in my mind, I see a bunch of sand castles, and I see a little thick-ankled white kid with veins coming out his legs, with a snotty nose and sand right over here on his nose, going through, knocking down sand castles that were built for infrastructure to make sure that things will go well. And he's out here in the sandbox tearing shit up across the board. If you feel that this is the time, this is not the time to, I'm going to withhold my vote. No. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. That is not how you demonstrate leadership at all. Like, at all. So if you believe yourself to be a leader, you would not. And if you consider yourself to be a leader and you do not participate in the system of voting, you should be doing other things within your community to ensure that the gatekeepers of your community are protected, the children of your community, your future is protected. You would make sure of that. Now that leads me into this video that y'all sent me yesterday. I think y'all said something about it in the comments, and I said, send me the link. And Nita the Diva, shout out to Nita the Diva, she sent me this clip of these black men with bullhorns standing in front of a armed, chained link fence of women saying, let me play it, baby. I should not. It is so tragic, baby. It's so tragic that you have to laugh. You have to laugh because here it is yet again. And the funny part about this thing is a lot of people say like, this is not happening. Not all black men, not all, okay? And we always, if you new here and you are some, not all motherfucker, I'm letting you know. Here's another disclaimer. What we say around here, it's never all, but it's always some. And when it's a collective voice, when we see it, a trend, when we see a trend within our community, I think it is imperative that we call it out and talk about it, because there will be people who will say that this kind of stuff is not happening. They will gaslight you and manipulate the situation because it doesn't make them seem, because, so many men are aligned. They align themselves just for their gender's sake. And I know there's a lot of women who do the same thing. And they do it sometimes to the detriment of the community because they are afraid to accept responsibility for how the collective behaves and how the collective relates to each other. Like you can't call yourself a leader, and then when the people that you're leading come to you and say, hey, do better, you cannot be resistant to doing better. You cannot be resistant to wanting the best for your community. You cannot be resistant to that unless you are a man who believes in his individual success and only his immediate circle. Then that's how American value system operates. It's very individualistic, right? So that happens, right? But if you are a man who calls himself a leader and sees yourself as a leader and sees and understands that there's a responsibility, you would not put women in a line, right? You're at a demonstration now. Let's be clear. I have no clue what city this is in. I don't know what city it's in. All I know it's an example. I don't need to know where it is. I don't need to know what part of the country it's in. All I see is these facts in front of me. The city where they were is irrelevant. The fact is, you are telling people not to cross this barricade of women. Not just any woman, an unarmed woman. When I tell you it's so tragic, you have to laugh. It is so tragic. Hold on, let me find it, child. Let me find it. I posted it to my Instagram page. I sure did. Hold on. Here we are. Okay, here we are. Here.
No one is to cross in front of the black women. No one. None. When we see danger, we will let y'all know what to do. Everybody keep a steady pace. No one crosses in front of the black women. We got long streets. We need the right foot. Listen, people in the front, we need y'all to clear away for them. I want everybody to understand that we are in the position of day one, day two. No.
Did y'all hear that? No one is to cross in front of the black women. Then he has his monkey in the back. I shouldn't have said monkey. That was a wrong word, because if I was white, that wouldn't have gone well. But I meant like in the peanut gallery. A goddamn clapping ass monkey with cymbals and shit, just going along with the go along like a damn goddamn fool. See how I clean that up? You got your damn fool in the back. No one. If we see danger, we'll tell you what to do, while the black women are the front, are the shields. The people who produce the children to repopulate your community, you're putting them in front. Girl, what are y'all gonna do? What are y'all gonna do out here with the, what do y'all do to that? What do you say to that? And he's not by himself. This is the crazy part. It's not just him. There are a lot of people around him that are like, everybody standing there are in agreements. I don't see anyone saying, hey, do you think that if you are protesting or demonstrating as a result of the Breonna Taylor situation, now I don't know if this was in regards to that. I don't know what they were demonstrating for. I'm not clear. But if it was for Breonna Taylor, this is a story of a black woman who was shot in her home, right? She did have somebody there to protect her. Ironically, she's the one who died. However, shout out to Breonna Taylor. However, you have a group of women here. Shouldn't those two things correlate? Like, okay, we are protesting or demonstrating. Now, I don't know if they're protesting or demonstrating Breonna Taylor, so I'm not going to even make up a whole fucking scenario regarding it, because we don't even know if that's the facts. The fact is, y'all got a line of women standing in front of you, unarmed. And the women there are standing there. Now, I do blame the women. There has to be a woman in that group somewhere to say, hey y'all. Hey y'all, I don't think this how we gonna do this. This doesn't seem right to me. But when you don't understand, when you still have to unlearn, there's always gonna be someone unlearning this behavior. Always. It's always going to be, everybody is never going to be all on the same page. It just doesn't work like that. Everybody is at different level of consciousness. Everybody is not on the same page, right? They're not in terms of awareness and growing and ascension and all that stuff. They're not. They're at different frequencies. Remember, we already talked about different frequencies on the dial. Doesn't mean one is greater than the other. Just means you just haven't opened up yet to this new information, and you haven't unlearned the old information that doesn't benefit you or serve you in any way. And one day you're gonna wake up and see, like somebody online said, when you understand, somebody online said, why is it that Ari and Jada and the rest of the baby mamas shouldn't bother y'all? you need to unpack why it does. Ari, Jada, and the rest of y'all baby mamas, and I guess Ari and what is that guy named Herbo, G Herbo, I don't know, some little baby face, probably another one running through playground, tearing down sandcastles, one of those type, you know, they're always in the Instagram stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's for the kids. You understand what I'm saying? Ari, Jada, and the rest of the baby mamas shouldn't bother y'all. You need to unpack why it does. Now, this was from Juana's World on Twitter. I said, I think that a lot of people don't like those women in particular because those men have money, and the women who are upset at them, they are in relationships that mirror what these baby mamas go through, except the only thing missing is the money. So I think women feel ashamed when they know they're dealing with the same fuck shit and the nigga is broke. I would be mad too. If I'm dealing with the same shit you guys are dealing with all on the television screen, you got all this money, but I'm dealing with the same exact shit you dealing with, but the nigga is broke. I think that's the problem. I think the money is the problem because there's nothing to envy about those relationships. There's nothing to be jealous about of those relationships. The only thing that you would have a problem with is that they have money and you don't, or they make it seem as if they have money and you know you don't. That's how I feel about it. When you out here with a chain link, baby, it's a lot of stuff going on, a collective of things that are going on that I don't even care. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about, sorry for the abrupt in conclusion, because I don't want to talk about it anymore because I could feel myself getting mad. I could feel myself getting mad, and I'm not about to get mad, and I'm not about to expel any emotional energy over the collective ignorance and behavior of people. There are going to be some people, like I said, who are going to learn. They have to unlearn it. There's a woman in that crowd, and there's all those women standing there clearly believe that they are doing something good. I'm sure they have good intentions. I'm sure their intentions are to protect their community. I'm sure that's what their intentions are. But there has to be somebody in that crowd to say, hey, y'all, a woman, it's not women protecting men. That doesn't work like that. If you want to, okay, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm not talking about it. Okay, I'm not talking about it. Okay. I was watching, this is just something I just said I want to talk about it real quick. This is going to be the last little topic we're going to talk about, and I'm going to leave. I just had an opinion on this. Stassi Schroeder, you know, from Vanderpump Rules. The white woman who got fired from Vanderpump Rules because she said that she wanted to call the cops on a black woman that worked at, what is it? Not Pump. What is the other place? Villa Blanca. What is the other place that they have? Sir, there it goes. Bitch, I said Lisa Vanderpump's restaurants, Villa Blanca, Sir, Tom, Vanderpump Cocktail Garden. Bitch, what's that? That's something new. What is that? When did that come through? She got 5 restaurants. Remember when, okay, anyways, I was about to talk about when Lisa Vanderpump took that property from Nene. She played Monopoly on Nene's ass, but that's another story for another day. So Faith was the black girl that worked at Sir. Faith, Stassi said she was going to call the cops on Faith and say that she was this suspect that had been going to different clubs and bars in Hollywood and I guess robbing people. So this white woman, Stassi Schroeder, was going to call the cops on this black woman and say that this black woman was this black suspect and say that it was her. She also said it was Nazi chic. She's just this. Y'all know who Stassi is. She's just a typical white woman raised in America. She really is. And she got fired. So I guess she's been trying to do the work. And so she went on Tamron Hall's show. Baby. She went on Tamron Hall's show. And the only reason why I know about this is because I was on YouTube like I always am. And and Tamron had a video talking about Stassi's time on her show. And because after, in true white woman fashion, after her show appearance on Tamron Hall, she said that Tamron was rogue. She went rogue and she felt unprepared for her interview. And so I said, so Tamron Hall said, I don't tell people what the questions are going to be beforehand. I do not tell them questions, but they have the right, of course, not to answer the question that I asked them. She was told before her interview, Tamron Hall was told before the interview that she could not ask or discuss any of Stassi's Me Too comments. We are all on a male witch hunt. They've already deleted it. So she says, I'm sorry no one made me suck a dick. I'm sorry it sounds like he thought you liked it because you were making out with him. And now it's a trend and it's Me Too you're doing. You're going to come out and accuse him because you regret it. Also there's no victim bashing. Stassi says all of these things, right? So Tamron Hall could not talk about those statements, right? Stassi is 5 months pregnant. She said that she is with a diversity coach who helps her with basically her unconscious biases, right? Tamron said to Stassi, I know that this is going to sound weird, but I don't understand how a woman of your age living in this world can have this level of ignorance to say these things and to do these things. The Nazi comment, calling the cops on a black woman, and then criticizing the Me Too movement in a way where you're saying that women are regretful of their past partner, so now they're coming out and saying that they've been sexually assaulted. So 3 major social issues. Calling the cops on black people. You know good and goddamn well you don't never talk about no damn Nazis to a group of Jewish people. Like, bitch, that's what Tamron said. I don't understand this level of ignorance. I'm perplexed at your ignorance, is what Tamron Hall said. I said, bitch, come on, Tamron. I'm perplexed at the level of ignorance. And Stassi was sitting there saying, well, I just realized that I was a Karen. I was like, oh my God. She said, so now how do you defend it? Since you've been to a diversity coach, right? This is what Tamron said. You've been to a diversity coach. What does that look like? What do you learn, right? So she's asking some good questions, because you're not going to sit up here and say you're learning about black history and you're learning about how to deal with black people and all this other stuff and not tell us what you do, right? Let me make sure I got my time together. Ooh, okay. So she says that, okay, so if you are in a group of black people and if you are in a group and somebody says something about black people, how are you going to defend Black Lives Matter? And she says these catchphrases, right? Well, all lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter. That's what you learned, Stassi? I was just like, so after the interview, and so I went to look at the interview, she basically just didn't like Tamron saying that you're ignorant. I don't understand your level of ignorance, because I could see where somebody would not like for somebody to say that to them. But you are ignorant. And how in this day and time, you're a fucking millennial. How the fuck are you not aware of what you're saying? I know, and I'm aware now, and I know now, and you know now, girl. And then Tamron said, so basically you have a life resume, and how are you going to talk to your children about what you've done and what you've said? How do you, so I think that her being pregnant and her letting her know, like, okay, now you have somebody that you're going to have to basically answer to for your behavior. How are you going to reconcile that? Stassi didn't like that. So she went on and said that, oh, and she said she has homework with her diversity coach. And the type of homework that she has is like basically trying to understand her unconscious bias. Like, you know how when you're tested, you say, okay, well, this is the scenario. Was the person black or white? Who would do this? A black person, a white person? Who would do this? An Asian person or a white person? Who would do this? So you have like these unconscious biases, right? And so that's what she said that she's tested on. But when Tamron asked her, what have you learned? She said, she gives us a damn t-shirt slogan. All lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter. That's all that you've learned? Girl, that's all I wanted to talk about. I wrote that down because I thought it was interesting. Go watch. It's like a 4 or 5 minute segment with Stassi. I don't think that there was anything wrong with her losing her job. You're not going to call the cops on another employee, because she was on Vanderpump Rules, but she didn't get a lot of time and they didn't let her do interviews, and they didn't let her come to the reunion. And so, you know, she was on the show and she did work there. You're not going to be able to call the cops on another employee and say that they are the suspect in a case that you've been working on, and it doesn't have anything to do with it. And you know how black people are treated by cops. Like, and that level, it's not an excuse. Like, no, I don't think that anybody is taking the excuse from white people anymore. Like, I just didn't know. I wasn't aware. That's not an excuse anymore. For generations, this has been going on. So you having an excuse saying that you weren't aware of the way that black people were treated in this country, that's not a fucking excuse. It's not. And nobody is hearing it. I wasn't aware. I didn't know. I know now. Shut up, Stassi. You sound stupid as hell. And then because you don't like the way this black woman was questioning you, now all of a sudden you felt unprepared and she went rogue. Girl, she's not telling you the questions that she's going to ask you, but she did not ask you about your Me Too comments. Now all of a sudden she went rogue. She went off script. Honey, we're not doing that. That was not your domain. You're not going to be able to control it. And you chose to do an interview. And here are the questions. You chose. That was your choice. You didn't like your choice? Well, too bad. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Peace.